Hello students. In this video, let us start the second lesson of civics, that is national symbols and national integration. Let's take a look at what national symbols are, and we will also take a look at what the national symbols of our country India are. National symbols. Generally, a country uses the symbols which reflects its heritage and culture. They are called national symbols. So all countries have certain factors that are reflective of the culture, heritage and history of the nation. So they choose those to be the national symbols. Most importantly, the national flag and the national emblem are called national symbols. The most important national symbols are the national emblem and the national flag. Every nation has its own national anthem. Similarly, India has its national animal and national bird. These are useful in creating patriotism and national integrity among the citizens. So this is one of the uses of national symbols. It creates a sense of oneness among the citizens of our country. Also, it is helpful in creating patriotism. What is patriotism? Patriotism is the love and respect for one's country. Up next, we will be talking in detail about the national anthem. Before we go to that, make a point to take your notes. So what and all you may write is, first you can write the definition of national symbols. So that is over here. They are called as national symbols. So generally countries have symbols which reflect its culture and heritage. Okay? You can talk about the different national symbols, the flag, the emblem and the anthem, and also state that India has national animal and national bird. Now, let us go into detail about national anthem. Jana Gana Mana is our national anthem. Do you know which language it's in? Let's find out. It was written in 1911 by Rabindranath Tagore in Bengali language. Okay, so it was written in 1911 by Rabindranath Tagore. So one very interesting fact about Rabindranath Tagore is that he wrote not just our national anthem but also the national anthem of Bangladesh. Amar Shonar Bangla is the national anthem of Bangladesh that was also written by Rabindranath Tagore in Bengali. Now, let's come back to Jana Gana Mana. Out of the 5 stanzas, the first stanza was adopted as our national anthem by the Constituent Assembly on 24th January 1950. So the actual song has more than the first stanza. It has 5 stanzas and we adopted the first stanza as our national anthem. It requires 52 seconds to sing the national anthem. On some occasion, the first and the last lines only are sung. It requires 20 seconds. Okay? Now, let us look into the duty of us as the citizens of our country towards the national symbols, specifically the national anthem. It is the duty of every Indian to respect the national anthem. Showing disrespect and hindering its singing are considered as cognizable offences under the law. Cognizable is recognizable. So showing any disrespect or hindering the singing of the national anthem are offences under the law. Standing erect in discipline while singing the national anthem, singing with flawless pronunciation. So these two factors are very important whenever we recite or sing our national anthem. So we need to be standing erect in attention position. We need to be looking forward and we need to sing with flawless pronunciation. Okay? So these are the points regarding our national anthem. Up next, let's talk about our national flag. It's a magnificent flag, as you can see here in the picture. The flag is the emblem of a nation. It is the proof of freedom, patriotism, unity and allegiance to the nation. Okay? Every citizen is moved heartily when the flag is raised on the pole. So whenever we see a flag hoist taking place, we feel the patriotism towards our country. We feel proud to be Indian. So every citizen is moved heartily when the flag is raised on the pole. Okay? So this is the national flag of India. Let us learn more about it. The description of the tricolored national flag of India. Our flag comprises of 3 colors: saffron at the top, white at the center and green at the bottom. So it's also called as the tricolor. It has saffron, white and green. At the center of the white color, there is a blue colored wheel. So here we can see the blue colored wheel. The wheel contains 24 spokes. So we'll be learning the significance of all of this soon, but try to think about what these 24 represent. Okay, just think about it and let's move on. The radius of the wheel is the same as the white colored part. Okay, so here is the physical or the appearance description of the flag. We have more details over here. The flag has a rectangular shape. Its length and breadth are in the ratio of 3:2. So the length is longer than the breadth. The 3 colored stripes are in equal proportion. The cloth of the flag can be either cotton or silk. In addition, it should be hand woven. So it cannot be machine made. It needs to be hand woven. Its thread should have been hand spun. Okay, the thread that is required to weave the national flag, it also has to be hand spun. The uniqueness of the national flag. What do the colors of our national flag indicate? Let's go through them color by color. The saffron represents the selflessness and sacrifice. So saffron stands for selflessness and sacrifice. White color indicates truth, peace and purity. Green is the symbol of faith, fertility and prosperity. It is the symbol of abundant agriculture and industry. So these are what each of the colors represent. Each single color has its own unique representation, and saffron represents selflessness and sacrifice. White represents truth, peace and purity. Green, which is usually the symbol of prosperity, it represents faith, fertility and prosperity. Green is the symbol of agriculture and industry. Now let's look at what the wheel represents. So the wheel is the reflection of the wheel engraved in the Ashoka pillar of Sarnath. Okay, so the wheel is the reflection of the Sarnath wheel that is engraved in the Ashoka pillar. The wheel of Ashoka is also the image of constant movement and progress. So the 24 spokes on the wheel, it represents the 24 hours of a day. Because there are 24 spokes and because it's a wheel, it indicates that the nation will be progressing forward 24/7. The entire 24 hours of a day, the nation will be moving ahead. That is what the wheel symbolizes. Now, let us look at the rules of handling the national flag with care. The flag should not be dirty or torn. So this would be a symbol of disrespect. We should ensure that the flag is always clean and it should never be torn. While hoisting, the saffron color should be displayed at the top. We should take care to ensure that the saffron is always at the top. Should not hoist any other flag to the height of the national flag. So in our country, Indian flag should always be at the top. No other flag can be hoisted above the height. Should be raised till the tip of the pole and hoisted. Under special occasions such as mourning, there will be instances where the flag is hoisted to half mast. Except those specific occasions, the flag should always be hoisted till the tip of the pole and then it should be stayed there. Always flag should be hoisted after sunrise and removed before the sunset and kept folded. Should hoist the flag to half its height during national mourning. So this is the instance I was telling you about. During cases of national mourning, the flag should be hoisted to half the height of the pole. While walking, the flag is to be held in the right hand. The flag should not touch the ground at any moment. So care should be taken that the flag should not be kept on the ground and it should always be held in our right hand. The plastic flag should not be used. So it's advised not to use plastic flags. Up next, we have the national emblem. That is, we can see it here. Observe our national emblem once. It is the true version of the base portion of the Ashoka pillar at Saranath. At its base, as lions are there, this is called as the lion base. The lion base of Saranath is our national emblem or imprint. So let's go and take a look at the Ashoka pillar at Saranath. So here is a picture of the Ashoka pillar at Sarnath from which the national emblem has been taken from. Let us look at it in detail. In the original sculpture, 4 lions are standing on the platform facing 4 directions with their backs facing each other. So we have 4 lions. In any picture you can only see 3. One is behind. So there are 4 lions and they have their backs to each other and they are facing 4 directions. Between the wheels there are images of elephant, bull, horse and lions. So over here we have the wheel and we have the elephant, the bull, the horse and lions engraved between the wheels. The wheel at the base is known as the wheel of Dharma. Even on the white strip of the flag, the symbol of wheel is found. The Government of India adopted our national emblem on 26 January 1950. In the picture, only 3 lions are seen. A Devanagari line called Satyameva Jayate or Truth Alone Prevails or Triumphs is taken from Mundaka Upanishads and is found at the bottom of the base. So here we have the entire description of the national emblem. Along with what we have taken from the Ashoka pillar at Saranath, there is an additional engraving of the Devanagari script called Satyameva Jayate. So the Devanagari script is just the script in which you write Sanskrit or Hindi. That is called as the Devanagari script. Up next, let's talk about our national animal and our national bird. These are symbols of pride and they are majestic and beautiful animal and bird. The tiger is our national animal. It is attractive and majestic to see. Its physique is strong. The peacock is our national bird. Its feathers at the top of its head look like a cap, which is attractive to see. So the choices we make to represent our country also represent our country to the people who are not Indians. As you can see, we have chosen a majestic animal that is vibrant to look at and is extremely strong. It is also exotic and is found only in certain countries, majorly in India, which is why tiger is an appropriate representation of our country. Furthermore, we have our national bird, that is the peacock, that is extremely elegant and beautiful to look at. You can say that it's the most beautiful bird on the planet. The vibrant colors of the peacock are a direct indication of the vibrant lifestyle and diversity of us Indians. Let's talk about why the national symbols are important. We learned that it is important for national integration and to create patriotism in Indians. First, let's try and understand what the meaning of national integration is. National integration means living harmoniously without having hatred, jealousy, or prejudice against another person or community. So, national integration refers to the idea of living together with all Indians, regardless of their community or their beliefs. It means one respecting the other and living in amity. Amity might be a new word for you. It means friendship. It is the feeling of living as equal members in the family of nation. National integration refers to the situation where all the people of the country feel they are one, although there are differences with regard to race, religion, culture, and language. So if there is strong national integration among us, then all these differences would become unimportant. So regardless of all these differences, we will consider everybody that is Indian to be of the same family. It is necessary to create such feeling among all for building a strong nation. In difficult times, it is extremely important to have the sense of oneness among the population, that is among our nation. The national integration is one which strengthens the feeling of equality among all people. So we should develop a strong sense of national integration and put our country before everything else. This feeling of national integration can be seen in various aspects of our behaviors. Whenever we come across people that belong to our country, regardless of where we are, we should ensure that we are taking care of their wellness and well-being. Furthermore, when there comes a situation where there is some sort of a competition between our country and some other country, we should always support our country in whatever way possible. Lately, national integration has taken impetus in a very strong movement of Make in India. So this movement is encouraging people to buy more goods that have been generated and have been created, designed and manufactured in our country. Next time when you're trying to buy something, try to make sure you buy something that has been made in India. Now, let's go back to what national integration is important for. Importance. The national integration is necessary to create unity among people. It is also necessary to create the feeling of oneness to achieve the self-vested interest and develop the nation. So this is saying that if we develop our nation, it is ultimately ourselves that will be benefited. So if our country progresses, who has the most to gain? It's the citizens of our country, that is us. National integration prominently encourages in achieving national unity, brotherhood, and equality. Let's talk about diversity in our country. So the diversity is the differences and variety, and this is manifested in the natural diversity, biodiversity, and diversity of life and people. So observe that diversity itself is definitely not a bad thing. In fact, there needs to be diversity for progress. Only from diversity will there be any kind of learning. So we need to try and make sure that we are using diversity for our benefits and try to ensure that it doesn't get in the way of national integration and unity. Let's talk about natural diversity. India contains high mountain ranges, very long rivers, and large plains. So this you will learn, or you have already learned in geography. India is a very diverse geographic region. It's a subcontinent in itself. In the same way, there are regions with severe cold and high temperature. So it's not a very small region. Therefore, there is variations in both the weather, climate, and the terrain. There are hot deserts here. The nature has blessed us with dense forests, cool fresh lakes, waterfalls, attractive beaches, and hundreds of small islands. So because there is so much diversity, we have been blessed with animals like our national animal and birds like our national bird. That is what we'll be talking about in biodiversity. Biodiversity is huge. Only a few nations in the world have such biodiversity. So it is upon us to preserve this biodiversity. Till now, we have identified and described 47,000 groups of plants. In India, there are 90,000 species of animal lives. This include 1232 kinds of birds and 2546 groups of fish. So observe, there are two ways in which you can say this number. You can say 1232 or 1232. Both of them means the same thing. An appreciable variety of living organisms is the valuable asset of India. So it's upon us to make sure that this diversity is preserved and taken well care of. Next, population diversity. People belonging to different communities in India, there is diversity in appearance, physique, language, food, manner, customs, and religions. It is required to travel throughout India to know the beauty of the people to know the beauty of the life of the people. So keep one thing in mind. You have to be very thorough about the different regions of India. And whenever you see somebody, you should have sort of an idea about whether or not they belong to our country. So this is very important to ensure that there is a sense of oneness among our population. Although we are very different in physique, all of us are Indians. Unity in diversity. The living culture of community that has faith in different languages, culture, and religion is called as unity in diversity. So people have different beliefs, they have different languages, culture, heritage, and religious beliefs. India is a diverse nation and ranks second in the world in population. So although population poses serious threats, we need to make sure that we are utilizing population to our advantage. Human power is the most powerful resource a country if utilized properly. We have also been blessed with natural resources to go along with human power. So we have the potential to make sure India progresses as much as it can. Our country has geographical diversity also. Everyone can follow the religion of his or her choice. They can mix with the social life by way of speaking their own regional languages. So you might have observed that there is a lot of languages that are spoken in areas nearby your home. So it's not just the regional language, you're also talking in other languages that belong to different parts of the country. We can find unity in diversity among different people who are living together. People belonging to multicultural who have faith in different language, culture, religion live in India. We find unity in diversity among the people who lead a variety of different kind of life. Our constitution has recognized the diversity. Diversity is the strength of India and it's never a weakness. Now let us look into some factors that are hindering national integration. So these factors are responsible for creating differences among the people and drawing lines between different groups of people. The first is casteism. Casteism means looking down upon people of other castes. A feeling of superiority of one's own caste is called as casteism. Casteism is dangerous to the feeling of unity. The caste feelings have spread in all walks of our lives. This is very unfortunate. Let's hope that the upcoming population, that is you all, have the sense and courage to overcome casteism. Therefore, the narrow feelings are developing. Therefore, casteism is hindering the unity of the country. Up next, we have communalism. The feeling of superiority of one's own religion is called as communalism. Fighting only for the sake of religion is called as communalism. It's also called as sectarianism. Okay? It's also called as sectarianism. Communalism disturbs peace. Therefore, it leads to loss of property and lives. Apart from this, it also disrupts the feeling of friendship and harmony. Communalism has become an obstacle by way of creating misunderstanding among the people of different religions. So if history has taught us anything, it's that when we stand divided, we are weak. We are only as strong as we are united and as weak as we are divided. Okay? So we are strongest when we have the feeling of oneness among us. To anybody from the outside looking in, we should appear to put forth a single united front. Communalism, casteism and regionalism are always secondary when it comes to patriotism and nationalism. Let's learn about what regionalism is. Regionalism is another factor endangering our national integration. It is the feeling of one's narrow commitment towards one's own geographical region. So this can be seen as the inability to accept people who speak a different language, or the inability to agree that people who belong to even different parts of our country are equal. So there are three factors that hinder our progress. That is casteism, that is believing that one's caste is superior; communalism, that is believing that one's religion is superior; and regionalism, that is the feeling that one's region or one's geographic region is superior. So do not confuse between regionalism and communalism, because this sounds a little bit like religion, but communalism deals with religion. This deals with region of areas. At the same time, since our constitution recognizes the federal structure of states, preserving regional languages, culture and administration is also important. So one very important distinction is one need not have to adopt other languages or adopt other cultures themselves to respect them. You can speak your language, you can be proud of your heritage, and at the same time recognize that people from a different language speaking region also have their own heritage and respect that. Okay? So this is also important. Hence, one-sided love of regionalism that affects national integrity is not healthy. Up next, this is the important part. we should understand that we are Indians first, and then we are also a part of a region and a language. So this is very important. We are Indians first, then we are also a part of our state and we speak our language. We should be proud of everything, at the same time respect everybody who is Indian. Regionalism should not become separatism. This hurts the national integration much. Okay, students, so we have completed a very powerful lesson in civics, that is national symbols and national integration. Now, let us try to answer these questions. Firstly, what is unity in diversity? Let's go back and take a look. Here we have the section Unity in Diversity. What did we learn? We learned that different people belonging to different languages, culture and religion living together in harmony can be considered as unity in diversity. So here we have the definition of unity in diversity. This should be included in your answers and into your discussion. India is a diverse nation and it ranks second in population. You can also talk about how there is geographical diversity also, there is religious diversity also. However, there should be unity in diversity. From this paragraph, pick up the points that you think are very important and include them into your discussion. Make sure to add this point. Diversity is the strength of India and it's never a weakness. Let's look at the second discussion. Which are the factors favorable for unity of India? Let's look at the factors that are favorable to achieve unity in our country. So we talked about the different national symbols and how they are important in achieving unity. Here we have the importance of the national symbols, and national integration is prominently, here we have the point that says national integration. It prominently encourages unity and brotherhood and equality. So you need to add this point. You can talk about the different national symbols. You can talk about national animal, the national bird, and the emblem, the flag and the anthem. We will be discussing this point in detail for the next heading, that is over here. Before that, let's just answer this one. What are the factors unfavorable for the unity of the nation? So we just learned about the three evils, that is casteism, communalism and regionalism. You need to pick out the definitions. Okay, so usually the first line after the heading is the definition, and you need to highlight why they are not favorable for the progress of the country. Finally, we need to discuss this in length. Which factors can be considered in the path of achieving national integration? So this is where we have to talk a little bit about each of the national symbols, at least 2 to 3 lines about each of them. Okay, so before that, we need to add about why national symbols are important. So here we have the definition, and we need to add this about how they are useful in creating patriotism and national integrity among the citizens. You need to add points about the national anthem, the national flag. You need not have to include it in detail, that is the uniqueness or the rules can be either briefed about or left behind when you're answering about so many different factors. Finally, about the national animal and bird. Okay, students, so this is the lesson completed. I will see you all in the next video.